Part 25. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 245. Chapter 245 Finally Found. Chin Kiwei raised his head, glanced at Gucci, and immediately lowered his head again, as if he didn't know the latter at all, and his whole body exuded an aura of defense and resistance. Seeing this, Gucci's heart sank slightly, and he vaguely sensed that something was wrong with Chin Chi at this time. On the other side, Chi Bubi easily subdued the four men and forced out the whole story from their mouths. Master, they are the subordinates of the rich daughter of the Xiang family, and they want to take advantage of the seventh young master. Chi Bubi came over to report. Gucci's eyes turned cold. Xiang Jia? Which one? Chi Bubi, an upstart who has gained momentum in recent years, seems to have some connection with Australia. By the way, it's the Xiang family who is married to the Qin family. Marriage? Is the Xiang family worthy of it? Gucci sneered coldly without thinking. Chi Bubi looked helpless. When you first heard about marriage, you were not so excited. Chi Bubi took a look at Qin Chi's condition and suggested, Master, take Qi Xiao away first. Qi Xiao's current condition seems to be a little bad. Gucci took one last look at Qin Chi, who was still lowering his head, and straightened up. Yeah. Sir, what should we do with these four people? Chi Bubi gestured to the four people lying on the ground over there. Their hands had been cut behind their backs and tied up with ropes. Chi Bubi saw the rope to tie people up in their car and used it by the way. Tell Yaling and the others to come over and deal with it. Also, the training will be doubled this month. Gucci suppressed a ball of anger in his heart, some directed at Xiangjia and some at his rigid subordinates. If he hadn't met Qin Chi by chance, he would probably have been taken to the Xiang family. Okay, master. Chi Bubi dialed a phone number and after explaining everything clearly in a few words, he ended the call. Chi Bubi opened the door of the black car. When he turned around, he saw Gucci lifting Qin Chi out of the wheelchair, without any of his usual neatness and quirks. The sudden flight made Qin Chi a little uncomfortable and twisted his body. Gucci whispered, Don't be afraid. After a pause, he thought for a moment and then added, I am your brother. Qin Chi's eyes were confused. He raised his head slightly and looked at Gucci cautiously. It seemed that because of these words, Qin Chi slowly became quiet. Sir, Angel Su and Fen Nanbei are here with the seventh young master. Do you want to go and inform them first? After all, they should know better what is going on with the seventh young master's current condition. Seeing that Gucci agreed, Chi Bubi entered a message on his mobile phone, sent it, then started the car engine and left the parking lot. As soon as he returned to Gu's manor, Gucci hugged him and walked to the main villa. Chi Bubi, ask Dr. to come as soon as possible. Chi Bubi had just handed over the car keys to the manor's housekeeper when he heard Gucci's shout. Okay, master. In the hall, Gucci paused slightly before going up the stairs. He turned around and shouted again, Chi Bubi, please confirm Qin Chi's identity again. Okay, master. Although he responded calmly, a hint of surprise flashed in Chi Bubi's eyes behind him. He really thought that Master Ju had completely determined that young Master Qi was the person he was looking for. But until now, Gucci still maintains a rigorous attitude. Chi Bubi knew very well that the child back then, in Gucci's heart, was not just a promise, but also a support. Chi Bubi was very efficient in his work. As soon as he returned to reality, he had already ordered people to focus on investigating Qin Chi. The relevant information has now been sorted out. When all the information was placed in front of Gucci, after he read it all, his fingertips trembled slightly. It's him. Finally found. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 246. Sutingyu ran out of the cafe and made a phone call. As soon as the call came through, Sutingyu immediately spoke out, with a hint of anger in his tone. Everyone has been taken away, why don't you stop it? Just 4 melon-skinned men appeared from nowhere. Sutingyu didn't believe it. If these people from the Mystery Bureau had stopped them in time, would the 4 melon-skinned men have taken Kikai away? Auntie, we are only responsible for your safety. We cannot expose other trivial matters at will until a critical moment. Deputy Wang on the other end replied helplessly. Auntie, our people are following you secretly. Your friend's life is not in danger at the moment. In addition, we have notified the nearest police station. Because of relevant regulations, people like them cannot reveal their whereabouts casually. But seeing with their own eyes that citizens were suspected of being kidnapped, the sense of mission engraved in their bones would not allow them to turn a blind eye. Therefore, they could only adopt a compromise solution. After hearing the explanation, Sutingyu calmed down a little, but his tone was still cold. Where was Kikai taken now? Now they're going down to the south parking lot. There's another situation. Someone stopped the 4 men who kidnapped your friend. Sutingyu frowned. What the hell is this? Sutingyu didn't stop. Now she had gone downstairs and was rushing to the parking lot to the south. There's another group of people who took your friend away. Others? How many people? 2 people. When Sutingyu hurried to the exit of the parking lot, he received the final news: Qin had been taken away. Auntie, we will continue to follow that car, don't worry. The other group of people who were suspected of following you earlier, except for the one in the coffee shop, are now in the parking lot. They may be the same group as the person who took your friend away in the end. Sutingyu paused. When Sutingyu heard this judgment made by Deputy Captain Wang, Gucci came to mind. Was it Gucci's person who took Kikai away? Although he didn't know why Gucci took Kikai away, it was better than being taken away by some unknown strangers. Qin has already joined scene. Even though he was a little unhappy before, he is one of his own. Gucci shouldn't be too petty and embarrass Qin. But in this way, Qin couldn't help but take care of the actual situation. Sutingyu stayed on the spot for a few seconds before walking into the parking lot. At this time, in the parking lot, Yeling and others were preparing to take away the 4 melon-skinned men who wanted to kidnap Qin. As he was putting people into the car one by one, Yeling noticed someone coming in. When he turned his head, he saw Sutingyu. Yeling looked slightly startled. Where is Angel Su? He also looked like he knew everything and was not surprised at all. And, it feels like I'm here to settle accounts with them. Remembering Chibubi's instructions, Yeling stepped forward and spoke first. Hello, Angel Su. Sutingyu looked at Yeling and felt that he looked familiar. It seemed that this person often appeared next to Chibubi in the Children's Day dungeon. Sutingyu asked straight to the point, where is Qin? 7th young master has been invited to Master Ju's house. If it is convenient for you now, we will take you there, Yeling said. Invite? Being a guest? Sutingyu almost laughed out of anger. He took Qin away without even saying hello, and then just said I'm a guest to offend her afterwards? Okay, then please lead the way, Sutingyu said in a cold tone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 247. Goose Manor. In the room. A male doctor had just finished checking Qin-Chi's physical condition when he heard footsteps at the door. He turned his head and looked around. When he saw the person, he called out, Master Ju. Gucci glanced at Qin-Chi, who was lying on the bed with a little panda in his arms. Seeing Gucci come in, Qin-Chi turned his head slightly and covered his face with the red panda, also blocking Gucci's gaze. Gucci tilted his head and asked, Dr. What's going on? Dr. put his hands into the pockets of his white coat and said, Part of the nerves in the brain and the nerves in the legs have been paralyzed and destroyed by some kind of neurotoxin for about a year or two. There were wounds from various knives and sharp objects on his body, and his wrists had his veins cut. Preliminary inference is that he must have been abused for a long time. Listening to D'Artan's diagnosis, Gucci's eyes gradually darkened under his sunglasses. The unhealed wounds have been carefully bandaged. I checked them and put on new medicine. The injuries on his body require 2 to 3 months of recovery. His wrists are a bit troublesome. Try not to let him use his hands. He needs to recover for a year and a half. As for the neurotoxins in the brain and legs, I'm sorry, but we haven't figured out a solution yet. D'Artan sighed slightly in his heart. Doctors are benevolent. As a doctor, of course, we want to do our best to help the injured patients recover. However, D'Artan is really troubled by the neurotoxins in Qin-Chi's body. Unable to remove neurotoxins, maybe Qin-Chi will be like this for the rest of his life. Even if the latent neurotoxin suddenly attacks one day, it may be life-threatening. D'Artan explained everything in detail. After it was over, Gucci said, "Well, thank you for your hard work." "It should be," D'Artan responded, then turned around and prepared to walk out of the room. Gucci stood there for 2 seconds, then sat down directly on the edge of the bed. Sensing someone approaching, Qin-Chi shrank his head. Gucci stretched out his hand to pull the red panda away, but failed. Although Qin-Chi couldn't use his wrists, he kept hugging the little panda tightly with his arms. Gucci didn't use much force and couldn't pull it. D'Artan, who had just left the house, paused, turned around and came back to explain. By the way, due to the influence of neurotoxins, his consciousness is very confused now. It is best to have someone close to him accompany him to help calm his emotions. D'Artan, who came back, was a little surprised to see Gucci so close to Qin-Chi. Considering his temper of keeping away from strangers, D'Artan had some experience with him. And now, keep strangers away? Where? I know, Gucci responded. Behind him, a door closed. Gucci took off his gloves and threw them on the bedside table. He bent down slightly, supported the bed with his left hand, stretched out his right hand, and pulled off the red panda's left ear. Qin-Chi moved his head, raised it slightly, and saw Gucci tugging on his red panda ears. For some reason, I suddenly felt a little annoyed, so I bumped Gucci's arm away with my elbow, and then took the red panda away so that Gucci wouldn't touch it. Tisk, I still remember that, Gucci chuckled. Hearing laughter, Qin-Chi turned his head in confusion. Isn't he angry? Gucci's smile faded. Huh? Don't you recognize me? Qin-Chi blinked his eyes. Who are you? As he said that, he turned his head and glanced at Gu after he stood up, as if he was looking for something but couldn't find it, with a look of disappointment on his face. Where's the big fish? Where's the fat man? Qin-Chi hugged the little panda tightly and murmured to herself, slowly moving her upper body inside, trying to get further away from Gucci. This person, I don't like him very much. Sensing Qin-Chi's resistance to him, Gucci was silent for a second and then said, "They will be here soon." Really, really? Qin-Chi's eyes lit up slightly when he heard this. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 248. Gucci nodded slightly. Yeah, really. After hearing the thought of the reply, it was visible to the naked eye that Qin-Chi's mood stabilized slightly, and a happy smile could be seen on his face. Taking advantage of Qin-Chi's emotional stability, Gucci asked, "What's your name?" Although he already knew Qin-Chi's real name from the information, Gucci still wanted to hear Qin-Chi say it himself. If he hadn't forgotten to ask Qin-Chi's name at the beginning, it wouldn't have taken so long to find him. Kikai. Qin-Chi paused, pursed his lips slightly, and said happily, "That's the name Big Fish gave me." "Big Fish is Angel Su," Gucci asked again. Qin tilted his head in confusion. Who is Angel Su? Gucci frowned and his heart sank slightly. You don't even remember the game. Where did the neurotoxin in Qin come from? Gucci doesn't have any clue yet. He had seen Qin's personal information. The kid who boasted about Haikao had really achieved it and became a warrior. But before serving, Qin did not have neurotoxins in his body. After retiring, he was abused for a long time during the period of disappearance. It was probably at that time that Qin was infected with neurotoxins, or had an attack of neurotoxins. There is no way to effectively resist the abuser. As for Qin being taken out of the Qin family later, it should be that Qin met Angel Su and Fen Nanbei in the game and asked for their help. The Qin family, the Xiang family. Gucci's eyes were cold for a moment, then quickly returned to a gentle expression, suppressing the violence that had just arisen in his heart. Seeing that Gucci was too close, Qin moved a little further away again, lowered his head, and just hit the red panda's head. He murmured dissatisfiedly, go away. Gucci paused and said, why? I just hate you. Qin was confused. Why do you hate this person? Qin carefully glanced at Gucci's face, but after a few more glances, he felt inexplicably angry. It must be that this person looks too annoying, and it's not Kikai's problem. Although Qin didn't say it out loud, the expression of resistance on his face also showed his stance invisibly. Gucci finally felt a little headache. The younger brother who was finally found seems to have disowned him. At this time, the door opened, and Chibubi's figure appeared outside. Master, Angel Su and the others will be here in 10 minutes. When Chibubi saw the situation inside, he showed an unexpected smile. Are you coaxing a child? However, it seems that it didn't work out. Yaguchi responded expressionlessly. Chibubi couldn't help but remind him, Sir, the seventh young master may be worrying about things in the copy. So if you really want to coax someone nice, you need to lower your posture a little bit. I know, you go down first. Gucci waved his hand with an unhappy look on his face. Seeing this, Chibubi could only quietly exit and close the door. Is the big fish coming? As soon as the people left, Qin showed his head and blinked his eyes to ask Gucci. Yes. Qin looked towards the door with confused eyes. Why haven't they come up yet? Seeing this, Gucci looked a little depressed. He reached out and poked the red panda. Are you so happy? No poking. Qin hugged the fluffy red panda tightly and protested in a low voice. I'm your brother, what's wrong with the poke? You are not my brother. It's just that you forgot. Maokay, let me show my cards. Guju is a brother control. Guju is here to compete with big fish. Oh yeah, pure brotherhood, don't get me wrong. Kikai, confused. Fatty, Omega, watching from the front row. You, in a normal plot development, wouldn't the second male lead compete with the male lead for the female lead? Guju, do you want to eat shit? Big fish, shall I go? Big fish, no. Dare you steal my Kikai? Where is my sickle? I'm going to kill this Guju. Guju, ha. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 249. Gu's Manor, in front of the gate. Chibubi waited at the door a few minutes early. Seeing 3 cars coming and stopping at the door, Chibubi stepped towards the last car. The car door opened and Sutingya came out. Chibubi smiled, hello, Miss Angel Su. My surname is Su. Sutingya closed the car door. The people who are being punished always say Angel Su. It doesn't matter in the copy, but now in reality, it would be fun if some players who hide their identities secretly heard it and turned around and announced it on the player forum. After the Children's Day dungeon ended, If some players looked back and connected the sudden attack by an army of children on the playground with the sudden increase in Sutinyu hunting points, it would not be difficult to find something fishy in it. Based on the holiday that Sutinyu made in the Children's Day copy, if his real-life address was exposed, just one Li Ge would be troublesome enough. Miss Suchibubi bowed slightly, and then nodded to the fat man getting out of the car, Mr. Feng. Hello, Special Assistant Chi. The fat man stood next to Sutinyu, briefly greeted Chibubi, and then silently acted as a backdrop. Sutinyu glanced at Chibubi and said with a cold tone, "Where is Qin-Chi?" "The seventh young master is on the second floor." "After going up the stairs, turn left and find the third room," Chibubi answered unhurriedly after bringing the person into the villa. "I'll go up and take a look, fatty, you wait here," Sutinyu just informed, not knowing whether Bubi would allow her to go upstairs. However, Chibubi had no intention of stopping it. If he really wanted to stop it, he wouldn't have ordered someone to notify Sutinyu. "Mr. Feng, please sit down." Okay. Sutinyu went up to the second floor, turned left, walked to the third room, and twisted the door handle. Click. The door opened. What came into view was Qin-Chi, sitting on a bed with his back against the wall, and Gucci standing beside the bed. Sutinyu didn't even look at her, and walked straight to Qin-Chi. "Kikai." "Big fish." Qin-Chi saw Sutinyu coming, his eyes lit up with stars, and his face was full of surprise. "You are here." Sutinyu took a look at Qin-Chi's face and felt slightly relieved when he saw that it was still rosy and there was nothing wrong with it. She turned her head and looked at Gucci with distant eyes, and said in a firm tone, "Master Guju, could you please move to a different place and go out for a while? We have something to chat in private." Hearing this, Gucci glanced at Qin-Chi, who seemed to have both of his eyes glued to Sutinyu, not even glancing at him from the corner of his eye. Tisk. Gucci felt a little annoyed and stared at Sutinyu expressionlessly. "I'll come back in 10 minutes. After saying that, Gucci walked out of the room. Sutinyu stared at Gucci's leaving figure and immediately closed the door when he saw someone leaving. He. "Come on, sister, it's best not to come." After closing the door, Sutinyu returned to the bedside in a few steps and asked with concern on his face, "Kikai, how are you? You haven't been bullied?" Qin-Chi shook his head slightly, "No." Hearing this, Sutinyu was completely relieved. Big fish. Qin-Chi turned his head and looked at the little panda in his arms. His mood gradually became depressed. "I thought, you didn't want Kikai anymore." "No, why don't you want Kikai?" Sutinyu quickly explained. "Didn't I come to see Kikai now?" "Right." Yeah. Qin-Chi raised his head, pursed his lips and smiled. "Does Chi-Chi feel uncomfortable?" Sutinyu touched Qin-Chi's head. Qin-Chi shook his head, "No." Sutinyu noticed that the white gauze on Qin-Chi's wrist had been replaced with a new one, and asked, "Who helped you rebandage it?" "A doctor." "Yeah, that's good. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 250. After Sutinyu finished asking questions one by one, Qin-Chi glanced at the little panda in his arms who kept smiling innocently at him, turned around and asked, "Big U, who was that person just now?" Sutinyu blinked his big eyes. Qin-Chi didn't recognize who Gucci was. That's right, they only met in the Children's Day dungeon, and Qin-Chi probably can't even remember the game now. "Ignore him, he's a bad guy," Sutinyu said angrily. Even if Qin-Chi is fine now, Sutinyu cannot calmly accept Gucci's approach of killing Qin-Chi first and then telling him to take him away. Qin-Chi looked confused. "Huh? But he said he is my brother." When Sutinyu heard this, a thought came to his mind subconsciously. Pooh. #pan, Shameless, shameless, shameless. Sutingyu said with disdain, he must have deceived Kikai and wanted to take advantage of Kikai. This is such a bad idea. How could he trick Qin-Chi into recognizing him as his brother while he was confused and unclear? What a face! What a thick skin! Seeing what Sutingyu said, Qin-Chi did not doubt that he was there, and the little bit of good impression towards Gu-Chi in his heart was dispelled. He immediately felt that Gu-Chi was a bad person, and puffed up his cheeks in anger. Oh, then he is really bad, no wonder I hate him as soon as I see him, it turns out he is a bad person. Sutingyu raised his eyebrows slightly. This. Although Qin-Chi didn't remember the game, his dislike for Gu-Chi didn't seem to change at all. But, it's just right. Sutingyu struck while the iron was hot and continued to deepen Qin-Chi's image of a bad guy, nodding in agreement. Yes, he is a big bad guy, Chi-Chi should stay away from him, don't be bullied by him, he especially likes to bully people. Qin-Chi looked serious and kept Sutingyu's words in mind. Yeah, I will stay away from him. Kikai, don't worry too much, there are big fish here. Maybe it's my conscience that feels like I've gone too far, that's weird. Mainly because he was afraid of scaring Qin-Chi, Sutingyu made some repairs. By the way, big fish, when are we going back? I don't want to come out to play. Qin-Chi lowered his head, his tone gradually lost. It was no fun at all when we came out, and we almost couldn't find any big fish. I don't want to come out after Kikai. Sutingyu touched Qin-Chi's head. Kikai, Dayu wants to apologize to you. It was Dayu who failed to take good care of Chi-Chi and almost allowed those bad guys to succeed. Qin-Chi quickly shook his head. No, it's not Dayu's fault. Kikai, don't be afraid. Big Fish promises that he will protect Kikai in the future. Okay, Sutingyu blinked her big eyes with sincerity in her eyes. At the beginning of the strip, Sutingyu could clearly feel that Qin-Chi became much more cheerful. Perhaps because of his disabled legs and being confined indoors all day long, Qin-Chi actually longed to come out and see the outside world. If the following series of changes hadn't happened, Qin-Chi shouldn't have thought about shrinking back again. Okay, Qin-Chi bit her lip lightly, her face tangled, but in the end she chose to believe Sutingyu. Kikai, do you want to pull go-go? Sutingyu shook his little finger. Danger and malice may occur at any time. The best way to deal with it is not to avoid blindly and retreat into what you think is a safe house, but to solve the root causes of danger and malice. Sutingyu felt that she didn't have any great abilities, but she just liked being the nemesis of the source of evil. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-Kei. Chapter 251. Xiang Qiaoxiu sent the women in yellow skirts away and returned to Xiang's house alone. She took a bath first and then sat and waited for the good news. But after waiting for half an hour, Xiang Qiaoxiu still didn't see the four subordinates bringing the people back, not even a message, and she couldn't help but feel a little irritable. It's been half an hour and no one's here yet. The efficiency of these people is so poor that they will all be fired tomorrow. Miss. Oh no. There's a police car outside. At this time, Xiang's old housekeeper ran in a panic. Xiang Qiaoxiu stood up on the sofa in shock. What police car? At this time, several police officers walked in quickly, and one of them showed the arrest documents to everyone present at the Xiang family. Miss Xiang, you are suspected of multiple kidnapping cases. Now please cooperate with our work and go to the police station to investigate and collect evidence, the policeman said expressionlessly. Xiang Qiaoxiu looked ugly and denied, what kind of kidnapping? I don't even know what happened. Miss Xiang, please stay calm. The law will not let down any good person, and it will never tolerate any bad person. After a policeman finished speaking to Xiang Qiaoxiu, he nodded to his colleagues beside him. Take away. Wait. I am the daughter of the Xiang family. I am the daughter of the chairman of the Xiang family group, let me go. Let me go quickly. No matter how much Xiang Qiaoxiu screamed and even pulled out the banner of Xiang's consortium, several policemen turned a deaf ear and quickly handcuffed Xiang Qiaoxiu, then took the police car and left Xiang's home. What should I do? For a moment, all the servants of the Xiang family were panicked, and the old housekeeper of the Xiang family quickly called Xiang Qiaoxiu's father, the chairman of the Xiang family consortium. I called several times but no one answered. Hurry up and pick up, hurry up and pick up. At this time, the old housekeeper of the Xiang family was thinking about the chairman of the Xiang family consortium, who was also deep in the quagmire and had no time to take care of other things. All kinds of tax evasion by Xiang's consortium, and even some illegal activities with Australia under the guise of the consortium, were all exposed by a mysterious force. It instantly became a hot search on Weibo, and the relevant official website also received reports and relevant information and evidence almost at the same time. Some of the incidents exposed even involved national security. As soon as possible, the authorities from above dispatched specialized personnel to handle the matter and conduct investigation and evidence collection. Now, there has been chaos within the Xiang's consortium, and all major shareholders are in trouble. As the chairman, Xiang Shaoguang, who holds the largest share, has long been taken away by the investigators above, claiming to the outside world that he is cooperating with the investigation. The sudden overturn of the Xiang family alarmed most of the top elite circles in Kyoto. Moreover, the Xiang family's affairs continue to ferment on the internet, and the popularity is high. Soon, people all over the country will come to talk about it. Qin Group, President's Office. What? The Xiang family was investigated. Qin Ding, who had just been called up, was stunned for a moment by the bombshell news thrown out by his father Qin Tianlang. After coming back to his senses, Qin Ding asked again, "Are you sure Xiang Jia can't stand up?" "I guess I can't stand up. I don't know who is so cruel." The dirty information about the Xiang family that was thrown out was more shocking than the last. They all alerted the superiors and sent people down to investigate. Qin Tianlang's expression at this time, he couldn't hide his surprise. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-Ke. Chapter 252. Now, even if the dirty information thrown out cannot kill the Xiang family, with such an investigation, all the dirty things behind the scenes will be found out. The Xiang family is completely finished. As the leader of a giant group, Qin Tianlang knows very well that there is always something dirty behind the scenes of all large companies. It's okay not to investigate, but once the official gets involved in the investigation, no matter how deeply you hide it, it will be exposed to the outside world. Dad, then the marriage between the Qin family and the Xiang family can only be cancelled. Qin Ding suddenly thought of the private marriage he had made with the Xiang family not long ago, and he was just about to make it public to the public. Upon hearing this, Qin Tianlang's face changed slightly and he shouted sternly, "What cancellation? Our Qin family has never discussed marriage with the Xiang family. You only need to say this once here. Don't say it wrong outside." "Yes, Dad." Qin Ding nodded quickly after realizing his mistake. Seeing this, Qin Tianlang waved his hand, "Okay, you go down and do your work first." Qin Ding, "Okay." When Qin Ding returned to his office, his cell phone rang. At first glance, it was a call from his younger brother Qin Shen. As soon as Qin Ding connected, Qin Shen's casual voice came from the other end of the phone, "Brother, I have no money." As soon as he opened his mouth, he knew he was here to ask for money. Qin Ding raised his hand and rubbed his temples. "Where is the 2 million I just gave you a few days ago? Has it been used up so quickly?" "Brother, don't worry so much. Dad has stopped my secondary card. I have no money on hand. Hurry up and give me some money." Qin Shen became more and more impatient as he spoke. Qin Ding said helplessly, "I will give you another 5 million, and you must last me through this month." "Okay, Thank you, brother. Qin Shen's voice suddenly became cheerful as he was about to have his pocket money. By the way, the marriage between the Qin family and the Xiang family is cancelled. Don't talk about it everywhere. Just pretend it never happened, Qin Ding reminded him as he remembered what his father had just said. What? The marriage is cancelled? Why? On the other end, Qin Shen, who was soaking in the hot spring, was startled. He immediately gave up the idea of hanging up the call and asked eagerly. It's a big deal for the Xiang family. I guess I can't escape. In short, my father has told me to pretend that there is no such thing as marriage. Don't talk nonsense. Qin Shen responded honestly, I know, brother. I still have things to do, so I'll hang up now. After the call ended, Qin Shen learned that the marriage was cancelled. He was not in the mood to soak in the hot springs anymore and simply left. The marriage was actually cancelled. Qin Shen's face was filled with regret. However, that loser couldn't get out of the villa and didn't know about it. The worst thing is, just find him a better marriage partner. When Qin Shen thought of the trash in the villa, he now had the urge to meet him. Since there was nothing to do now, Qin Shen simply drove to the Dingshen villa area. As soon as Qin Shen entered the villa, the servants came out to greet him, Master Shen. Qin Shen Li ignored the servant and walked directly past the servant and walked upstairs. But when he entered the room and saw that there was no figure at all, Qin Shen's expression changed and he turned and left the room. After coming down to the first floor, Qin Shen found the servant and asked coldly, where did that trash upstairs go? Ah, the servant looked confused for a few seconds, then hesitantly said, didn't the seventh young master be taken away by your friends? When Qin Shen heard this, he was immediately confused. What are my friends? Where do labor and management come from as friends? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 253. The servant also realized that something was wrong at this time, and she said solemnly, just a few days ago, 2 people came to the villa, saying that they were your friends and came to take Qi Shao to your place. The rest, I don't know. Qin Shen cursed. Where did that trash go? Also, where did these 2 people appear? And took that trash away? After calming down, Qin Shen thought of checking the surveillance. But when I went to check, whether it was the surveillance of the villa or the surveillance of the villa area, the surveillance videos of the past few days were inexplicably lost. Qin Shen asked the security guard at the villa area again if any strangers had come into the villa area in recent days. Again, no results. The answer given by the security guard was that only the head of the household and friends invited by the head of household could enter the villa area, and no suspicious persons were found. Qin Shen went back to the servant and asked about the date and the characteristics of the 2 people. Then he asked which security guard was on duty at the entrances and exits of the community on May 26. Qin Shen directly used the reputation of the Qin family to let the person in charge of the community finally get the results of the investigation in the shortest possible time. On May 26, a household head named Feng and his female friend entered the community. After a while, they came out with a man in a wheelchair. Give me all the information about Feng Nanbei immediately. After hearing the investigation results, Qin Shen glanced at the person in charge of the community with fierce eyes. In this regard, the person in charge of the community could only apologize. Master Shen, I'm sorry, informing the name of the household head is beyond the scope of our responsibilities. As for the personal information of the household head, it is strictly prohibited to leak it. The labor and management asked you to give it? Just give it. Still moaning so much, Qin Shen kicked over the glass coffee table in front of him, and the sound of broken glass suddenly sounded. This. The person in charge of the community was startled, and his face became even more hesitant. Qin Shen roared angrily, "Get out!" Hearing this, the person in charge of the community bowed and quickly left the community office. Qin Shen grabbed his hair, his face full of irritation. Where did that trash go? Qin Shen couldn't help but recall the time when he had just recognized his ancestor and returned to the Qin family. Originally, Qin Shen felt that his father was the leader of the Qin family, his mother was in power and successfully married his father openly, and his brother was his father's favorite future heir to the Qin family. Qin Lin, whose father did not love his mother, you will be very angry and hate them. But when Qin Shen saw Qin Lin for the first time, all these illusions in his heart were completely shattered by the latter's cold and indifferent gaze. Qin Lin didn't care. He doesn't care that his parents are divorced, and he doesn't care that his father remarries. When his brother Qin Ding finally gained recognition from other elders of the Qin family and was able to join the Qin group and learn how to manage the company, Qin Lin was already a special admissions student at the National Defense University and seemed not to care at all about the Qin family's immense wealth and Qin's family. The position of the heir to the family. And then, it was true, because Qin Lin went to serve and then disappeared. In those years, Qin Shen almost forgot that Qin Lin still existed in the Qin family. Until, Qin Lin came back. One day, Qin Shen unexpectedly discovered that Qin Lin could not stand up and became stupid. Qin Shen suddenly woke up from his memories. He wiped his face, took out his mobile phone and dialed Qin Ding's mobile number. After dialing the number, Qin Shen said, "Brother, Qin Lin is missing." Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-Ke. Chapter 254. Goose Manor. Qin Chi shook the little panda's head and emphasized seriously, "Big fish, let's go back quickly. There are bad people here. Chi can't stay here, he will be bullied by the bad people." "Okay, let's do it now." A cell phone rang, interrupting what Sutingyu was about to say. Sutingyu lowered her head and glanced at the note on the caller ID. "Hiss, it's from Sister Fei. The album is finished, am I still on vacation? What's going on?" "I'll answer the phone first." Sutingyu raised her head and mentioned to Qin Chi. Qin Chi nodded, "Yeah." Sutingyu touched Qin Chi's head and answered the phone. "Hello, Sister Fei. Ancestor, have you had enough fun? If not, come back quickly. The superiors have assigned you a job and asked you to record a few songs on the other end." Manager Sister Fei crackled something. Sutingyu blinked her big eyes, and after digesting the meaning of Sister Fei's words, she asked curiously, "What did the superiors tell me? What does this mean?" "Sister Fei, I don't know, I'm just a messenger. You should come back quickly within the next 2 days." "Ah, this." Sutingyu hesitated on his face and glanced at Qin Chi. When the latter saw Sutingyu looking over, he immediately retracted his head into the belly of the red panda, pretending to be well behaved and not eavesdropping on anything. "Appearance." Sutingyu asked tentatively, "Sister Fei, are you really in a hurry?" "Urgent." Sister Fei confirmed. Sutingyu was very depressed. "It has to be me? Isn't there someone else in the company?" "Nonsense. Okay, I'll go back in the next 2 days." Seeing Sister Fei's resolute attitude, Sutingyu knew that there was no room for maneuver in this matter and could only agree. Seeing that Sutingyu agreed, Sister Fei stopped wasting time and said, "That's it, hang up now." Sutingyu stared at the still dark phone screen and felt a headache. She wants to go back. What should Qin Chi do? You can't bring people back to the Magic City, right? At this time, Qin Chi raised his head, his expression was tangled, and asked, Are you leaving? Can you take Chi with you?" Sutingyu put away her phone and turned around to see Qin Chi looking at her expectantly. Sutingyu explained, "Big U has to go to work. You can't take Kikai with you when you go to work, right?" Qin Chi asked doubtfully, Her expectant expression gradually disappeared and turned into full of disappointment. Kikai will be very good and won't cause trouble to the big fish. Why can't we take Kikai with us? Sutingyu comforted him. Big U also wants to take Kikai with him, but the magic city is a bit far away from here. The most important thing for Kikai right now is to recuperate and have a good rest. In the magic city, Sutingyu lived alone. If she went to work in a company and left Qin-Chi at home alone, she would not be at ease. As Qin-Chi stayed in Kyoto and had Fatty by his side, Sutingyu could feel more at ease. Then, that big fish should come back soon, Qin-Chi muttered in a low voice. Yes, I will come back to Kikai as soon as I finish my work. Sutingyu rubbed Qin-Chi's face. While Yu is away, Kikai has to listen to the fat man. Okay. Okay. Click. The sound of the door opening sounded and Gu-Chi came back. Seeing Gu getting up, Qin-Chi immediately covered his face with the red panda, and then shrank behind Sutingyu. The bad guys are coming, Kikai wants to hide. When Gu-Chi came in, he saw that Qin-Chi was obviously avoiding him, and his face darkened slightly. It's only been 10 minutes, why does the child seem to hate seeing him even more? Statement. Guju has CP. Female. Not a big fish. Guju and Kikai are just brothers, so you guys can rest assured. I've seen too many male leads competing with the male lead for the female lead, so I really want to reverse it, but that doesn't mean that the second lead and the male lead are just like that. Isn't a socialist brotherhood good? Now Guju is the crematorium for coaxing his brother, and from now on it will be the crematorium for chasing his wife. The two crematoriums are clearly arranged. Guju, are you polite? In addition, the main plot line, Big Fish Kikai's emotional line, cannot be completed quickly. Take your time, there will be sweetness, don't rush.